right. Well, today
Yes.
we have two special people here today. We have Mrs. ATL's hottest,
Yeah.
the Billboard Queen, Miss Kendra Nicole. And we have this beauty over here before I actually introduce her title, because as you can see, honey, you look amazing.
Thank
You
you.
are wearing, and I'm loving that outfit and them boots.
Thank you.
Yes, because Miss Ciara, and how you pronounce your last name again?
McFarlin.
McFarlin. See, I had
Yes.
okay, Miss Farlin.
Yes.
She is also a behavioral therapist,
Yes.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
And but again, you look, because I know you also from the other side as well,
Yes.
modeling.
Yes.
Yeah, so we can tell because we're looking at how Marvis. Look how you look, Gina.
I
Doesn't
love
she?
fashion.
I know
Amazing.
you
I love
Love
do.
fashion.
fashion.
So,
Well,
Yes.
thank you both for being here
Yes.
today. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank you
and
so much
so
for
you're
having me.
welcome. And so
I've been waiting to get here.
really,
Yes, to number one, support you and all that you're doing. I love what you're doing.
thank you
And I'm
so
just
much.
happy to be here.
Thank you
So
so
thank
much,
you.
Kay. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to be diving in
Okay.
today. We're going to be talking about something that a lot of people didn't know about Miss ATL's hottest, right? We're going to be talking about understanding the spectrum of autism.
Yes.
And again, a lot of people don't know, but
Right.
you have two amazing sons.
Yes, I do.
And which oh my gosh, they're so sweet.
Aren't they? They
Amari
are. They
and
are just
Prince.
they are the sweetest. I love them. I so love them. They are my purpose.
Yes.
Yes.
And one of your sons, the youngest,
Mm-hmm.
Prince,
Yes.
he has autism, right?
Well, I'll say this. At the age of 3, he was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, and it has been a journey. It has been a journey. So it's like every day, it's like although I'm here, to share my story on how autism has affected my life, my family's life,
Mhm.
my personal life, my business life, it's still an everyday learning experience. Like every day I'm learning something new. Like this is something that you just don't learn overnight.
Right.
It's a whole way of learning how to communicate with
Mhm.
someone who does not have the ability to communicate their emotions. I've had to tap into learning sign language. I've had to tap into using communication devices on how to communicate with my child. So every day is a learning experience.
Mhm.
Like he teaches me so much,
Yeah.
although I'm teaching him, he teaches me a lot too. I'm like, what in the world? Like this little boy, like he is a strong little boy. Like don't ever get a disability. Don't ever get disability twisted because he is the most smartest
Yes, he
little
is.
boy that I
Mhm.
know and physically strong. Like this little boy has no fear. He does not fear absolutely anything. Things that I fear, he does
Yes.
not fear. And it's just so amazing how like yes, he may be diagnosed with this, but that's not his story. Like I don't attach his diagnosis to him. He just has a special way of learning. That's
Yes.
all it is. It's a special way of learning,
Mhm.
and it may be a little delayed, but every day is a learning experience. Every day is a special day. Every day, like I thank God. I'm like I used to when he was diagnosed. Of course, I did not understand because
Right.
I have two other children who did not actually autism never ran in my family. Like this is my first experience dealing with
Wow.
autism, so it's like I had no idea how to handle it.
Because you have an older,
Absolutely,
your
yeah.
daughter, Kiana.
Kayana, she is
Yeah.
23. She is the most brilliant woman I have
That's your
ever
mini
seen.
me. Your
That is,
mini
she is
me.
my mini me with a mouth, but I had to tone my mouth down, and now she got the mouth. So yeah, so it's like our family, we just did not know, how to handle with our prince. However, lots of prayer. It just
Yeah.
takes a lot of prayer.
Yeah.
A lot of
And
prayer.
definitely you prayer, and you definitely have a huge support system.
Absolutely, I do.
You have a huge
I
support
do.
system because Prince, again, firsthand, he is so loving.
Hmm.
He is so
He's so
loving.
affectionate. I
Yes.
was like, where do you get all this? I mean, I give him affection too, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, like he
Mhm.
loves to love on people, but I'm like, he gets it
Yeah.
honest. He
Yes.
gets it honest.
And but when you in the beginning, when you
Mhm.
everything first, when you
Mhm.
first was told, with Prince the diagnosis, like
Mhm.
how did you manage? Because I know you do a lot.
Oh
You do a
gosh, so
lot,
much.
and so I know you had to
Mhm.
shift
Oh,
some
absolutely.
things because again, I know they're your everything, and I know
Right.
that was your priority is taking care
Absolutely.
of your son.
Mhm.
So how did you shift?
How did I shift? Well, I remember I was working at my work at home job for 3 years, and it was actually me being on the job working at home. That's when he actually got diagnosed, was me working. And that was the shift right there because I didn't realize how extensive this journey was going to be
Mm-hmm.
with him. Like,
Right.
I work at home, but when I was told that he's now going to have to be in speech therapy, he's going to
Mm-hmm.
have to be in occupational therapy, he's going to have to, it's going to be a long road ahead of you. So I would be working at home and trying to manage, him as well. But then it got to the point where, like, he was just like you said, he's my priority. So unfortunately, unfortunately then, but fortunately now, I end up I got fired. I got fired from my job because there was a time because when he started his therapy, I would be late. I would take him to therapy and I would come back from my lunch break late. And unfortunately, I got to get him to his therapy. I had no way around that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, yes, I had to be late. So of course your job does not understand what's going on in your household. They don't care who is sick. They don't care what's going on. It's just
and
they
it's
want you on that
and
clock.
it's nothing in place for
Right.
parents.
Exactly.
By laws, it's nothing
Mm-hmm.
in place for parents who
Mm-mm.
have children that they have. It's sad that it's
Right.
not, because those are some things that should be
Mm-hmm.
in place, because you may have to leave. Your
Exactly.
child may have to go to
Exactly.
therapy, but it's nothing that excuses that. They just
Mm-mm.
want you.
Right.
You have to
You
be
just
there
got to go
to
on that
work.
clock. And
Right.
in my case, that so to answer your question, that's how I shifted. When I got fired, I have to shift into my drive, what drove me. And I said, okay, I need another stream of income. So I started diving into my passion and I created a stream of income that replaced that full time job. So, like I said, unfortunately, I lost, my full time job that gave me that stability, but it was also an avenue to create my own lane, starting my own
Mhm.
business. So
Right.
that's how I shifted, you know.
Wow. And then again, going back to with that, you also had to, because you had to take them to therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Yes.
had to actually reach out and get using your resources,
Right.
right? To bring,
Absolutely. I got
and
a ton of
that's where
resources.
the beautiful
Mm-hmm.
Ceara comes in place, because
Yes.
Miss Kendra, and you also know Prince very well.
Yes, I
Mm-hmm.
do.
Okay, so
Yes.
She has been a key factor in his growth.
yeah. So what all do you do with Prince when you were with Prince?
So I've been a behavioral therapist for about 3 years now. And when I was transitioning into working with kids that have a disability, I wasn't sure exactly what a behavioral therapist was. I'm just diving into different types of therapies because I have a background in psychology. So I'm like, well, maybe let me dive a little bit into the different types of therapies that are out there. So, autism came to me first. So, I started doing a little bit of research to see what it was. And I kind of fell in love with it because I always wanted to work with children,
Mm-hmm.
adolescents, and adults.
Mm-hmm.
But something was pushing me towards children.
Mm-hmm.
So, by that, I
Mm-hmm.
started at Hope Ridge Autism Therapy Center, and we had to go through extensive training to become certified, which through that training, my training took about maybe 2 months just to make sure that I understood exactly the different
Wow.
strategies, techniques, the terminology that I needed to know when actually working with these children. And so
Wow.
by the 2 month mark, we had to take an exam,
Mm-hmm.
pass the exam, and it kind of took its own course
Mm-hmm.
after that. So it wasn't always easy starting
Wow.
off with working with kids on the spectrum because we had to work with their behaviors. it's almost as if we had to work around them. We had to work with what they're used to. And as far as like communication skills, there's a lot of kids that are nonverbal. There's kids that are in speech therapy because they're able to communicate, but they communicate in their own specific ways, whether it's using a device, which is an AAC device, that speaks for them, but they're able to comprehend exactly what it is that they want. They also use a PEX board, which on the AAC device and the PEX board, it allows them to actually point or tell us exactly what do they want. So by that, it's kind of very, very beneficial for them to use that. However, when I was working with Prince did use a communication board. So my thing was, let me see how I can build that rapport with him. So what building rapport is establishing a connection with him. So when we do actually have to work together, I want him to be in tune with what I'm asking him to do. So building that rapport was me establishing, let me see what types of toys he likes, and let me see how he can communicate with me so that when we do work and I say, 3, 2, 1, it's time to come to the table, it's easy for him to come to that table because I built that rapport with him. So Prince did have a communication board, and I will always ask, hey, Prince, what do you want? And most of the times he would point to his Ninja Turtle cars, or he would tell me Ninja Turtle cars because he loved those Ninja Turtle cars. So I'm like, okay, this is what we're gonna work for. And so we have BCBAs, which they're board certified behavior analysts. They create these programs for the kids, and the RBTs, the behavioral therapists, we implement these programs. And one program that the BCBA created for him was manding. Basically, manding is we're getting them to request for an item that they like. So by me, I'm like, well, let me see what he's going to request for, which is the Ninja Turtle cars. And so, and it was like 3 of them. I think it was 3 of them. So I'm like, okay, Prince. But another strategy that I had to use with him was a first stand statement. First, we had to work. Then you get your Ninja Turtle cards. I already established that rapport with you. I see your most desired item. So I'm like, okay, it's almost manipulation in a way.
And I have seen you in action.
So,
you
Yes,
are
you
very
have.
good.
She is.
I've seen
She
I was
is.
like he listens.
he
does.
Like you was like
Yeah.
Prince, and I mean you're stern with them, and you tell him, and then and he goes right along, and I'm like, wow. And then you walked outside, and y'all took your walk, and then you came. I said, wow,
building that rapport
Yes, yep.
with a child is extensive because kids on the spectrum, they're used to routines.
Right.
And if that routine is kind of disrupted, they can go left. So that's why we had to build that rapport with them to kind of see what it is that they have a desire for. Most kids, they like tickles. Prince, he did like tickles. Just in case if I didn't have the Ninja Turtle cars, I'm like, okay, well, do you want to work for tickles? And he would say, yes. So I'm like, okay, we can work for that too. But that report is extremely, extremely helpful because Prince was Prince was very smart. He would work for what he wanted, which another thing was Skittles. He would work for it. So I'm like,
he
okay.
likes Skittles.
Yes,
Prince
he
likes
do.
Skittles
He
too.
loves Skittles.
He likes
Really?
he
loves
likes
candy.
Skittles.
Oh, now I know he loved candy. Yeah, I've seen.
So,
yeah.
But we would try to take what the child has a desire for,
And use
so
that.
and use that to kind of
Yes.
help them with their routines. And we have what is called DTT. DTT is something that's structured by the therapist. The therapist is the one that's really controlling the setting. So we would work at the table, and he would work for his Skittles or the tickles or the Ninja Turtle cards, and he would probably have to work for maybe 3 minutes at a time. Or he had a token board system to where he would have to earn maybe like 5 tokens, but you had to get a correct number of responses in order to, get your desired item. So he would work, but sometimes, kids, they do have their days. But
Right.
we
That's what I
had
was
to
gonna.
meet that
He
kid
does.
where they
Where
are,
they are.
because some days are easier than
That's how I was
others.
gonna ask
So
you. Yeah. How
some
about
days
those days?
are harder than others.
Right.
We had to meet the child where they are, because at the end of the day, the therapist, could be tired. And there are some days where, where we're tired, but it's kind of like we had to push, our feelings to the side, because
Side.
who are we there for? That child. And for me, there were some hard days. I will say that, but as long as you continue to keep moving and you see growth in that child, that brings a lot of light and a lot of prosperity and a lot of peace to me, because Prince has improved so much.
And I was going to ask you that from when you first had Prince working with him
Mhm.
up until now. So you definitely have seen a big improvement.
Mhm.
I've seen him from the beginning. And
Yeah.
now, I mean, he is completely like, he has really, like, he's calm.
Yes.
And,
He's calm.
he'll sit over there by himself and, he love his cars.
Yes, he do.
I know he love his
His
cars,
turtles.
his turtles.
His Ninja
Yes,
Turtle cards.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
He lost one of them one day. I was like, "Oh."
Oh
I
Uh-oh.
goodness.
said, "Oh."
Oh
I said, "Oh
boy.
my gosh." I said, Prince, you know, I want you to get used to other items, other toys to play with,
Right.
because that toy or whatever you're asking for, it might not be there. Like the Skittles. Sometimes you can't always have the candy, but let's see what else
Else you
you
could.
gravitate
Right.
to.
Yes.
So in that day, I took him I took him to the gym a couple times, which he really loved that. So I'm
Really? At the
like,
gym? He.
oh, he
Oh
loved
my
the gym.
gosh.
Yes.
Oh,
He loves playtime. Like he
He
loves the
does.
gym.
wow.
Yeah. So I mean, it's really
So you
important.
pretty much, like you said, you just kind of see what it is that he
Gravitates to the
gravitates
most.
to, and you use that,
And I
and it
use
help.
that for
Wow.
when we have to work and complete a task, because, like I said, the BCBA, the Board Certified Behavior Analyst, they create these programs for the kids. It's almost as if they lack in a certain area,
Hmm.
but not so much lacking. It takes time for
Hmm.
them to learn a specific skills. Just like, just anybody, it takes time for us to adapt to a
Right.
certain skill. It takes time for us to learn a certain skill, but again, we have to continue practicing it over and over
Over
again
again.
for us to
Right.
understand it. So I wouldn't so much say that they lack. It just takes time for them just to adjust to a new skill and to learn something, just like we do, like
Right.
adults. It take us time to learn something new. So that's
Right.
that's really all it takes. So
So have you? So I know we're working with Prince. Have any other children that you've been working with? So you kind of. Okay.
I can see the difference, because right now I'm getting my master's in social work. I'm a foster care case manager. And so the kids on my caseload that just transitioned to the foster home, they too are in need of ABA services, speech therapy, and OT. And just by me just seeing them once already in the transition of them moving into the
Hmm.
new home, I can see some of the things that they will need to acquire, which most of them, they need that assistance, whether they do in home therapy or whether they do the in clinic therapy. But in my opinion, it just depends on the kid, because every kid that's on a spectrum is different. Some kids would do better by being in the home, but kids on the spectrum, they typically work on socialization skills, which that's typically why they're in the clinic, to socialize with their peers. So,
Wow.
but me personally, being in the clinic, is more beneficial only for the socialization aspect. So by being a case manager and being a behavioral therapist, I can use the behavioral therapist background that I have to, help, being
Wow.
a case manager. because with that, my main priority is to make sure these kids are safe inside these foster homes. So
Wow,
that's the main effect for it.
wow,
Yeah.
thank
That's
you. That is
amazing. Yeah.
amazing. Thank you so much, Sierra, for
That's
what you do
beautiful.
because
Yes.
I'm quite sure you just don't hear, you never hear much about that. And you just want to thank you for all that you do
Yes.
Thank
working
you.
with the
Just
children because it's needed. It is
Yes.
needed.
is.
It is needed. And you are so blessed to have
Yes, I
Sierra
am.
taking care of Prince.
Yes, I
You
am.
really are. So I just want to, before we end, okay, Sierra, can
Yes.
you just please give your handles, your social media handles,
Yes.
everything?
So I'm on Facebook at Ceara McFarlin. That's CearaMcFarlin. I'm also on Instagram at Sierra. Oh, jeez, got my Instagram name. I think it's Sierra Michelle 27, and I'm also on TikTok Sierra Michelle.
All right. And you, Miss ATL Ty, I want to
Yes.
thank you as well for sharing your story
Yes,
and just
absolutely.
letting, because again, a lot of people don't know that side. And I appreciate you sharing that because you are
Absolutely.
helping other mothers out there to
Yes.
know that it can be done, taking care of their child as well, that they're not
Absolutely.
alone. They're
Exactly. They're
not
not
alone.
alone.
And I thank you for that. Do you mind giving our viewers your social media handle as well?
Absolutely. Well, just number one, just thank you, Sierra, for all that you've done for me and my family, Prince. I know at the end of his sessions we get notes,
Yes.
but to hear it come out of your mouth exactly what you do, what you've
Yes.
done for him, because I'm gone.
Yes.
While you have him,
Hmm.
so it's like I don't know. So thank
Yes.
you from the bottom of my heart for what you do.
You're welcome.
Like you matter. Like
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Oh,
Appreciate
But
that.
I just had to just say that right
Thank you.
quick because
yes. No, thank
but you can reach me on IG on my personal page, the Kendra Nicole. That's at THEE Kendra Nicole, or my business page is Kendra underscore the underscore billboard queen, and also on Facebook, Kendra Nicole.
Well, thank you so much again for that. And before we just end, I just want to give you guys something really quick. I have something for
You, I
you,
love gifts.
Kendra.
Oh,
That's for
I do
you.
too,
This is
but I never
actually for you
asked.
and Prince, so you can
Oh,
open up really quick and
Absolutely.
see.
Thank you so
And
much.
then Sierra, got you in here too.
Oh, cute.
And this is for
oh,
you,
Oh,
Sierra.
he loves
thank
life.
you.
And that is
He
actually a
loves
sensory
things.
car for, yeah. So that's
Let's go
actually,
love
yeah.
that.
So, and it
He
lights up and
is.
everything. So yeah, yeah,
Oh,
Thank
got
you
that for
so
Prince.
much.
thank you.
And yes,
Oh,
yes,
I
that's,
will always remember this interview because this is my first time speaking on autism publicly.
thank
Of
you.
course, I share it with, my circle or
Yes,
people that I'm around, my support system, but, to share it
Oh
with,
wow,
the world.
thank you. Here, let me help you. I know you got your hand. Let me help you. Thank you so
this is
much.
pretty. It's like a cute little
Yes,
It
plaque.
you're
is. Oh.
welcome. And this is something here I got you. I want to share. I'll let you look
Oh
at
my
it.
goodness.
I love butterflies. I
Oh, this
love
is
butterflies.
Yes.
so
And read
beautiful.
what it says on it.
Autism doesn't come with a manual. It comes with a mom who never gives up. Now, don't make me cry now.
Oh,
I was over here being,
Oh,
a
well,
strong warrior.
I got,
yes.
as always,
It's
a
Strong
strong
warrior.
okay.
woman.
But
But
thank you so much. And I appreciate you both for being here because it's
Thank you.
something that's
absolutely,
not talked about enough. My sister, back in Baltimore, she also works with children
Mhm.
that has autism at Dunbar High School in Baltimore,
Oh
Maryland.
wow.
And she's very passionate, just as you are, Sierra, with the same as well. I appreciate you both for
absolutely.
being
Thank
here.
you.
I want to thank Iconic Voice
Yes,
again for
yes.
supplying me with these scrubs again. Thank you so much. And
Looking beautiful.
KKM, thank
Yeah.
you. And KKMG again for being one of my sponsors as well. Thank you, ladies, both so
Thank
Thank
much.
you.
All
Thank
you. I
you.
right.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. I love butterflies. I
Pretty.
love butterflies.